And good evening. Thank you for joining me again. Today we're going to be going over the 3 fatal hybrid app development mistakes. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Mike Dominic. I'm the host of Code Radio at JupiterBroadcasting.com. You can catch that 3 p.m. Eastern on every Monday. Except when we're bad, then sometimes it's Tuesday. But hey, we try. I'm also the CEO and owner of Buccaneer Tech, which is a app development and web development studio based out in New Jersey. We focus on open source technologies as well as proprietary mobile platforms such as iOS and Android. But today, I really want to help you guys out because I get this email in at least 4 or 5 times a month from my team managers, directors of technology, asking, I tried to do a hybrid app project. I know my competitors are doing it. My engineers are recommending it. I've heard you talk about it. You came in and tried to pitch me on it. Maybe I bought it, maybe I didn't. But, we went another way and it didn't work out. And we don't understand how hybrid could have worked for our competitor, but it just isn't working for us. So hopefully I'm going to help you guys out. In general, I think there are 3 fatal mistakes that IT managers make. And here they are. Number 1, hey, you all have JavaScript developers on staff. I get it, right? Even, an IT department with no developers, somebody knows how to code up a web app or a website, at least to some degree, right? So, most hybrid solutions, particularly the ones that we prefer at Buccaneer, are web-based. They're Ionic, right? Which is AngularJS, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So why would you hire a consulting shop to do that for you? Well, the problem is if you just try to throw up a web page or a series of web pages on your existing website and call that a mobile app, it will work for informational purposes. For instance, if you're just showing, let's say you're, a list of items, right? You're showing some sort of menu of products that you sell, with not a lot of interactivity, or maybe just very basic ordering via PayPal or something like that, that will work. You're not going to get the advantage of your users or employees being able to install that on their phone other than making a bookmark, which I can tell you, it's been possible for 6 years to do that. Or actually, wow, it's been a long time since the iPhone came out. It's been possible since about 2008. Most people don't know how to make a bookmark of a website on their home screen. And I think if we took a random survey of, a room of 100 of your employees, almost none of them have done that, right? They're running apps that are just regular apps, downloaded from either the App Store or the Google Play Store. The other catch you're going to get into is you're not able to integrate with any phone features, which we'll get into. But it really is a mistake to just throw up a web page and point it to your mobile website, right? Unless that's all you want. But I haven't seen, and we all know this, right? Scopes creep is the enemy for everything. It just starts off, your manager, your stakeholders, your business people come in, they might say, Mike, I just want a list of the products we sell. That's it. And you'll say, sure, we can just throw up a quick HTML page. John over here can do that for us. Great, we don't have to hire out. Problem is, as that grows in complexity, maybe they want push notifications, which you can't do. Maybe they want more, more connectivity, beacon support, location support, some of which is possible in the web browser, but you don't get the level of connectivity and accuracy. So I would say the first mistake is just not going with a toolkit that is specific for hybrid mobile app development. Again, we love the Ionic framework. There is, of course, various flavors of React Native. And if you're more on the .NET Microsoft side of life, if you're a .NET shop, Xamarin is another awesome choice. And some people in the live chat are telling me we spelled hybrid wrong in the promotion. That's great. See, this is the beauty of live stuff, right? There are mistakes. But moving on to the second fatal hybrid app mistake. And that is not tying into platform-specific functionality. This one gets me every single time. People ask me, oh, this great thing just came out in iOS 10. I remember when iOS 8 came out, actually, the share extensions. If you're not familiar, the share extension is a thing on iPhone and iPad, of course, that allows you to share content between apps. See, traditionally, iPhone apps and iOS apps in general have had problems sharing data between each other because Apple, the walled garden, each app is basically its own silo. Well, the share extensions can do that. But it took a little bit of time for the hybrid platforms to catch up, right? And I have been in multiple large IT shops and found that they just don't know that if you use a hybrid specific tool, again, such as Xamarin, such as Ionic, such as, again, I think React Native will do it too, right? You can actually tie into some of this functionality. And, Apple has the share extensions. Maybe Android has something you want. It will, of course, depend on your business case. But the point is, don't let the fact that you're hybrid make you think that you're just a website. Because you're not. You are a mobile app. You can tie into the native functionality. Even, let me give you an example. Let's take Ionic because that's my preferred solution. Even if Ionic themselves does not have a API tie-in for the functionality you want, well, there's NJ Cordova, which is a great collection of open source, JavaScript libraries that tie right into native functionality. And this isn't, some of you may have memories of the old PhoneGap days, where you're throwing in PhoneGap plugins and you gotta write this native component, and oh my god, now you have some Objective-C code, or today it would be Swift code, or some Java code. But no, usually with these NJ Cordova components, it just works out of the box. You import it. If you're using a build tool like Bower, that's great. If you're not, that's okay too. And it will generally just work. And the open source community is really good at keeping it up to date on what the new APIs are. So I would strongly recommend that you take a look at that. I mean, if you're gonna do an app that people are downloading on their phone, you may as well tie into the platform-specific functionality. In fact, if you're not, then something like a progressive web app may be better for you. And that's kind of the way that goes. Now, the third one's the big get you at any kind of hybrid development, and it's the one that I don't have a good answer to. Not considering performance. Hybrid apps have come a long, long way since the bad old PhoneGap days. I was not a fan of, long-time Coder Radio listeners will know, just 4 years ago, I was not a fan of hybrid development, and that's because it was primarily in PhoneGap. And to say that it was slow as a snail would be insulting to snails. I mean, really, snails are good. The French love to eat them. Bonjour to anybody who's French out there. They're just garbage, right? In the past, PhoneGap's apps were really horrible. I mean, I'd shipped a few. I'd had customers and clients ask for them, and they worked. They did the job, but I was never. You never left feeling like, wow, I knocked it out of the park, right? You left feeling like, well, this works. That's not true anymore. If you're using the modern hybrid frameworks, again, not to plug Ionic, I have no financial interest in Ionic whatsoever. I just like it as a toolkit to use. Or React or Xamarin is another one I love. You're getting much better performance than traditionally you would with back in the bad old days of jQuery Mobile and PhoneGap, right? But for some things, you can't be native. If you were a high-end game, I mean, that's not really who our audience is here, right? We're very focused on the enterprise. But if you're a high-end game, if you are doing CAD software, for those who don't know CAD software, right, laying out engineering diagrams, video diagrams, things like that might require 3D rendering, other kinds of graphic, that gets a lot harder. Now, it doesn't mean you can't use any hybrid solution. Let me give you a good example. If you're looking for graphical performance, let's say you're doing a simple modeling app, right? And let's shoot the moon. Let's say you're doing an iPad Pro modeling app and you want to use the Apple Pencil and you want to do 3D style blueprints, right? You're the next Da Vinci. You're gonna model out your wonderful flying machine. And if you are the next Da Vinci, I would love a flying machine. Well, Xamarin might get you the way. I mean, Ionic could probably, but I wouldn't recommend it. I'd say something like Xamarin. And the difference there is the Xamarin code actually compiles into native code, where currently Ionic and some of the other more web-based tools do not. Now, there are plenty of other tools out there, and there's actually a flavor of Ionic called Ionic Native. That's not what I'm referring to when I say Ionic. I mean the standard Ionic 2, which is the current version. There are plenty of other tools out there that will say that they compile to native code, and maybe they do, and maybe they don't. I'm sure the vendors are honest. But the three I'm discussing tend to be the top three, right? I mean, Ionic is great. It's an Angular platform. React has all that, Facebook juice going for it, and it worked for Facebook, so hey, I'm not a fan, but hey, if it works for you. And Xamarin, it just has the technical ability of really compiling down to native code and getting you that native or near native performance that in most cases you can do whatever you need to do. So I hope this helps you. If you are an IT manager and you already signed off on a straight PhilmGap project, Indeed.com is always looking for resumes. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You have solutions. You can think about transitioning, and of course, we're happy to help. If you are considering a hybrid solution, we're actually offering a free evaluation. Just go to the link in the notes, which is, once this goes up on recording rather than being live, will be like there-ish, I hope, maybe. The free evaluation will go through all your functionality, all your needs, and say, one, can you do hybrid? And two, what is the right type of hybrid for you, right? Because we talked about the difference between the web-based solutions such as Ionic and something like Xamarin where it's compiling down. If you like this, please follow the channel. It'd be very helpful. Follow me on Twitter. It's @Dumanuku. That's at Dumanuku. You could Google it. And go to buccaneer.io. Thank you so much, and have a great night.